Pushback on Ryu's jabs is slightly lower on hit. This mostly seems to be for the consistency of his combos. For example, counter hit light punch to stand or crouch medium punch will work from farther away. While counter hit light punch, stand medium punch, crouch medium punch is now a combo. This was a staple in SF5. Stand light kick also has less pushback on hit and block, which sounds swell on paper, but going into uppercut still has dead zones. While it's -4 on block, so less pushback actually makes it more punishable. Heavy punch is now +4 on hit, which gives you a link into light punch on normal connect. Or low medium kick on drive rush or punish counter. Sadly, cancels to heavy donkey kick or heavy hashogeki still don't work. Low medium punch has an extra active frame, but the same total duration. I don't expect this will do much besides make it a slightly better neutral button. Crouch hard punch now does 800 damage flat. It used to do only 700 if you landed it on the later active frames, which was very common when anti-airing. Jump medium punch's hitbox was expanded for the second hit, making it more consistent after the first. EXR Tatsu also seemed to get some changes to make it more consistent here. Overhead is now +3 on hit instead of +2. This means you can now go into medium punch without trading with reversal light normals. And it gives Ryu the amusing link into back heavy punch after a drive rush. This only works on crouching opponents, but that's the main context where it would work anyway, plus you have time to react. It's slightly better on block at -1 instead of -3. This also makes it +3 on block after drive rush instead of +1. These little frame data changes help Ryu keep his offense going. Towards heavy punch is now +3 on block naturally. This makes it quite an impressive pressure tool, which is appropriate since it's so slow. You can't exactly spam it like it was Alex's lariat, but it's definitely a scary button to challenge now. It previously added extra scaling when starting combos, but now it doesn't. Even this simple combo does 300 more damage than it did last patch. If you spend meter, the difference is even more notable. The first hit now reels the opponent 10 frames longer on trades. Previously, the first hit had very little hit stun, so if it traded with a medium, the opponent would recover way before Ryu did. Now Ryu should recover first, and if you trade with a light normal, you can get cool combos. Towards heavy kick has more pushback on block, which is good because it's -4. It should be totally safe at any range where you'd want to use it now. The ability to go over lows now lasts all the way to the end of the active frames, when it didn't quite do that previously. Back heavy kick now causes a ground bounce and juggles. Previously, an EX donkey kick to back heavy kick, Ryu's heavy uppercut would fall out because it didn't come out in time, but now it works. You also get the rather amusing juggle to medium donkey kick if you'd rather do that. The first two hits of Ryu's medium punch TC is now only -4 on block instead of -7. More importantly, hitting down plus punch at the end gives you a guaranteed Denjin charge. This actually makes it a surprisingly attractive route, especially given the Denjin buffs I'll be showing later. You can also do the Denjin charge from the heavy punch TC, and while there are somewhat fewer setups for that, you can hit confirm it easily from raw hard punch. All Hadokens leave the opponent reeling 2 frames longer on hit. It's not a big difference, but maybe you can get Hadoken drive rushed off a bit more reliably now. Plus it just locks the opponent down that much more. Moreover, Hadoken has a more narrow hurt box on startup. Previously, Ryu had been one of the widest characters when throwing a fireball, making it relatively easy to DP or level 3 him from far out. This change makes his fireballs that much harder to stuff and that much less committal. Light and medium hashogeki leave the opponent even closer on hit. This is another slight extension of the mid-season balance patch Ryu got. All of Ryu's hashogekis except light now do significantly more drive chip. Probably the most important and interesting change Ryu got, he can now use normal fireball and hashogeki when he has Denjin charge. Only the heavy versions of these specials will consume your Denjin. This is a huge buff, since previously Ryu only got the Denjin effect on his next fireball. Now he can return to a fireball war and try and pick a random time to surprise his opponent with the quick 2-hit version. Not to mention, Ryu could play some fireball neutral and bust out his increased damage combos organically when the opportunity arises. Being able to choose when you spend your resource gives you much more freedom and makes the resource much stronger. EX Denjin Hoshogeki is much easier to land now you can hold onto your charge, and probably because of this it lost 200 damage. Regular Denjin Hoshogeki is now 1 frame faster with the same total duration. This 1 frame means it now combos from crouch medium kick, which is actually a pretty nice little buff. All of Ryu's tatsus do a little more damage and recover more drive meter for Ryu. Light and medium donkey kick are also more rewarding to land, with increased damage and super gauge build. The light donkey kick has been overhauled somewhat. It's 1 frame faster, which allows it to combo from a cancelled crouch light punch. It lost some active frames too. Previously it could be as good as -3, but now at best it's -6. EX Donkey Kick adds just a bit less scaling in combos. It's 1 frame faster, but I don't see anything that gives Ryu besides punish counter light punch into EX Donkey, which improves his light normal punishes somewhat. It does give him counter hit light kick into EX Donkey, which seems like a pretty good buffered cancel to use in neutral. Ryu Super 1 is a bit faster. Notably, he can now do it even when there's an EX Fireball already on the screen. This is a surprisingly malicious change by Capcom, since Ryu can bait jumps with the EX Fireball and force the opponent to land on Super. If he sees the opponent landing on an EX Fireball, he can get a Super there too. Super 2 levels 1 and 2 got a bit more damage. This applies to both the normal and Denjin versions. Super 3 now comes out faster when cancelled from Heavy Shoryuken. This is a wonderful quality of life change because it had a bad habit of falling out in juggles. The partial connect version of Super 3 now does significantly more damage, only barely less than the cinematic version. You don't see this one land too often, but I guess this is nice when trying to anti-air with it, if they do an attack that pauses mid-air or something. For modern Ryu players, Ryu's Assisted Combo 2 now uses the level 2 version of the Super automatically, which is a flat damage upgrade that used to require manual timing. Previously, if you were burned out, you wouldn't get anything after the low medium punch. A full game mechanical change I forgot to mention in the first video is there are now burnout versions of assisted combos. For Assisted Combo 2, Ryu now goes into medium Hoshogeki. His Assisted Combo 3 previously went through EX Hadoken into Super 3. This is a really weird route and a waste of some drive bar, especially since previously the combo would just abruptly stop at low medium punch if you were burned out. Now, the combo goes into Hoshogeki instead of EX Fireball, which does the same damage but saves you 2 drive bars. Overall, Ryu's change list was one of the longer ones, and most of the changes are buffs. It really feels like the devs might have thought they were a bit too timid with Ryu's balance and wanted to bring him up to the likes of Ken or Luke while still keeping a lot of his signatures intact. I haven't come through all of the cast quite yet, but Ryu seems to be one of the biggest winners overall, and I think a lot of would-be Ryu mains might be swapping back from Ken this patch. That being said, Akuma just came out, so we'll see.